Wish I had some help.
Hello.
Ah!
Oh my god!
I'm scared too.
Holy crap! I was not ready for that volume. Hello everyone, it's Inga. As some of you might know, I actually really like recreating dishes from different shows and movies. I wanted to take up the challenge of recreating iconic dishes from certain movies, and then I thought, what better way to do this than to refer to another icon himself. Binging with Babish, as most of us know, is known for recreating exactly these kinds of dishes from pop culture. And so today I am going to be picking some of Andrew's or Babish's recipes that I've been really wanting to try. I'm going to be referring to his recipe book and also just like his giant library of amazing videos. But yeah, it is going to be an adventure. My goal is to be able to make sure these foods look like they do in the movies or shows themselves, but also make sure that Andrew approves of my recreation of his recipes. Let's get started. Hello and good morning. I am ready to tackle our first meal of the day. For breakfast today, I am going to be making the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich from Birds of Prey, also known as the perfect egg sandwich according to Harley Quinn herself. As a big sort of like DC Marvel fan, I just love superheroes. Don't make me choose between DC and Marvel. And so I am going to be making Babish's version of this perfect egg sandwich. For his recipe, you actually make your own bread from scratch. And I actually already made this yesterday. So here is my beautiful ciabatta. This is the first one I've ever made. Sounds kind of hollow, which is what you want. And the reason I did this yesterday is because making bread just takes a long time. Usually you have to proof overnight. So in my stand mixer, I added in flour, instant yeast, salt, instant dry milk, all of my pre-ferment. That was the sort of like sticky situation. I also added in some warm water and some olive oil. And then I just let my mixer do its thing. Basically just like have the dough hook on and then let it knead the dough until it became a lot smoother on the outside. And then I took the dough out and just rolled it into a ball. I put that into a oiled bowl, very important. And then I just covered it with wrap and let that rest again for like, I think around 2 hours, basically until it became super voluminous. Is that the word? Basically it like doubled in size and it was like pretty big. It was like a big pillow. Once it doubled in size, that's when I sort of started the folding process, where I just kind of folded it into itself, turning the bowl as I did so. Let that rest for 30 minutes before I repeated the process again. It's definitely like, again, a very tedious process. Bread making is very time consuming, but it can be very rewarding. And then after resting it a little bit more, I spread the dough out into a large rectangle, or at least I tried to form it into a rectangle. And that's when I started trimming it down to the size I needed. I don't think I trimmed it as much as I could have. I kind of didn't want to mess with it too much. Now that I have like my ciabatta sort of formed, that's when I put them on a baking sheet and let that proof again for another hour. And then because I didn't have something to spritz the dough with water, I kind of just like flicked specks of water on there, added a little bit more flour, and then because I don't have a pizza stone, I know the recipe asks for one, I decided to just use my Dutch oven. I preheated it, so it was very hot the moment I put the dough in, and hopefully that kind of was able to create the same effect. And then I just, baked that until it became puffed and like you get that beautiful color on the outside. And and then I let it rest, which brings me to today, where I have my bread. Let me show you what else I have. Just some good old American cheese. I have bacon. I also have some eggs, at which, now that I'm here, I remember Babish, Andrew specifically saying that because the actor who plays Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, she is allergic to chicken eggs. So we're actually gonna be using duck eggs. I mean, on the surface, it looks the same as chicken eggs. I have not tried fresh duck eggs like this before. I've had like salted duck eggs, which are kind of different, so this is going to be very exciting too. I'm just gonna go ahead and add this in. Use my hands here because that's easier. All in. And then I'm also going to add in some water. This is going to help it cook more evenly. So now I'm just going to cover it and let it cook for a little bit. In the meantime, I am going to just slice up my bread, see how it turned out. I actually don't know what it looks like on the inside yet, so moment of truth. Here it is. Here's what it looked like on the inside. Ooh, the crumb is decent, I think. Maybe it could have been a little bit better, but again, I think for a first time, very proud with how this turned out. And yes, it is time to flip. Gonna flip it now. Ooh, all right, ooh. Wow, this beautiful brown color. I'm gonna give it another minute and I'm gonna take this out, save some of that grease, but also use it to toast my bread. Putting this in, my bread is too big. Can I fit? I cannot fit, I have to do it one by one. Dang it! Saved this for cooking my eggs in just a second. I'm gonna pour that oil back in. I say oil, it's bacon grease, bacon grease. Ooh, oh, the shell is definitely thicker. Ooh, but otherwise it looks fairly similar. Now to put this in. Ooh, it's a big egg. Look at that egg. Where's my cheese? Cheese. All right, cheese is going on. Makes me feel like I'm at a bodega. Covering this up now. I'm going to let that cook. But then once that's done, obviously I have my bread toasted, my bacon, my egg and cheese. We are ready to assemble. Here I have my bread. I'm gonna gently place bacon on here. It's a little chaotic. Now I'll slide my egg and cheese on there. It's beautiful egg and cheese. Then a few glugs of hot sauce because, as Harley Quinn says, gotta have some. Just a bit, not too much. That's it. It's a bacon, egg, and cheese. Boom. Look at that. Oh wow, can you see the yolk is like leaking out right there? As that continues to leak, I am going to try and wrap this up now. Wow, my hands are so yolky right now. All right, this is not as easy as we think it is. Here's my breakfast sandwich. Ta-da! Now for the moment of truth. We're gonna cut it in half and hope that it's as glorious as it should be. Friends, oh my goodness. Look at it. Wow, this cross section is so incredible. I love how you really do get that like jammy egg yolk in the center, the cheesiness, the bacon, the holes in this ciabatta. Very, very, very pleased by it. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Babish. Thank you, Andrew, for encouraging me to make my own. Let's give it a bite. It is the iconic breakfast sandwich in my opinion. Ooh, and the airiness of the ciabatta. I will agree with Harley Quinn though about how just a dash of hot sauce is perfect. It's enough to give it like a little oomph, but not so much that it like overwhelms it, which I feel like happens sometimes. Really happy with how this turned out. Cannot wait for lunch where I will be making something that is probably considered even more of a classic. So yay! I'm gonna finish this up and I will see you guys for lunch. Okay, I am back here in the kitchen in time to make some lunch. For lunch today, I am going to make what is probably Babish's most signature dish, the Krabby Patty from Spongebob. I really wanted to make this because I grew up actually watching a decent amount of Spongebob, and funny enough, the version I watched was actually in Mandarin. Spongebob's name in Chinese actually translates to sponge baby. So it's like pretty cute. The recipe I'm following is actually going to be a combination of Andrew's version in his video and also in his recipe book. The umami version seems like the more elevated version of a Krabby Patty, whereas the MSG version seems more like the iconic Krabby Patty look. So I want to borrow things here and there to make sure that it tastes really good, but it also looks most like the one that we see in the animation. So for the patty, we're actually going to use 2 different cuts. So the ground beef that I bought at the grocery store, this is actually made from chuck steak already. So what I actually did was buy a separate cut. Straight up just bought a boneless short rib. It's a beautiful piece of meat actually. Ooh. I just cut it into smaller chunks of beef, and then I froze it fairly briefly, just enough for it to hold its shape a little better. Then I also froze the blade of my food processor just to make sure everything was super chilled, and then I just tossed those semi-frozen chunks of beef into my food processor, like did a little bit of pulsing until I got these like beautiful sort of like pebbly texture, which I think is exactly what we want. So that was pretty cool. So now I'm just going to combine these together. It's a lot of meat. Oh my gosh. It's also very cold. I'm going to season it with some salt and some pepper. More. Then I'm going to add a little bit of MSG. I feel like people don't use MSG enough. It's a good way to sort of boost the umami flavor a little bit, so we're gonna go with that today. Now I'm gonna shape them into little patties. Well, little as in like 2 patties. That's a big patty. Maybe that's too much. Did I say 2? I meant 4. Maybe 3? I'm gonna leave it like this for now, so then I can do a little bit of smashing later. But I'm gonna put this patty to the side, so then we can now work on a couple of condiments. So I'm going to be making 2 sauces. One is the ketchup and one is the mustard. I did not realize that I don't have ketchup at home, and the only one that I actually do have is this truffle ketchup. So I swear I did not mean to be elevating it to this point, but you know what? It gives me a good excuse to use this up as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend these together. And then on the other hand, I am going to be mixing some Dijon mustard with some miso, which I'm actually very intrigued by because I feel like those flavors would work so well together. The sort of like savory umami-ness of like the miso with kind of like that sweet tanginess of mustard. So I'm just gonna toss that miso in there. Just gonna go right for it. Oh yeah, it's good. Super flavorful. Wow. Some sun-dried tomatoes in there first, and then this very nice ketchup. I'm gonna blend it. I'm gonna swap this container. Ha! Alright, so I have my sauces ready. On the other side, I also already made some caramelized onion. As you can see here, this is what 1 onion has been reduced to. I actually still have some tomatoes slowly drying out in the oven. Cooking them essentially at a very, very low temperature, basically wanting it to dry out a little bit more to get that sort of texture. I think we're good to start cooking our beef patties. I'm gonna turn on the vent. Again, ooh! Accidentally put water on there. Add some oil. I'm gonna do it. Smash it! Trying to channel Spongebob's energy of flipping patties all day. Wow, maybe I should open the door to this apartment. It is so smoky. I think this is almost done, so I am going to scoop this out and let it rest off to the side for a little bit, and then use this glorious fat here to toast my buns. All right, friends, I have everything here, I think. Burger buns that I have actually added sesame onto it because that is a critical component that I didn't want to miss. Must not forget the pickle chips. Can't have a Krabby Patty without pickles. So let's do it. Look at this. Wow. The lettuce, the cheese, the sauce that has now blended together. Every component of this burger just smells so good. The layering I did was following Babish's recommended steps versus like Mr. Krabs steps. I'm also gonna pretend that this little guy over here is Mr. Krabs, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a big bite. Oh my God. The flavors in here are insane. My God. There's so much going on. I mean, I just got hit with the flavor of the caramelized onions paired with the tanginess of the mustard. I think the combination of the short rib and the chuck steak for the patty, it gives it that wonderful texture. It does feel a little meatier. If they sold this version at Krusty Krab, the lines would be actually insane. But also, if they served this version, I would be there every day. I actually just really want to devour this whole thing right now. This is amazing. This is as iconic as I imagined it would be. So there's a lot of cleaning up to do actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that after I finish this amazing burger. And then I'm actually going to do a dessert type situation before dinner. Hello again. It is now dessert time, and I thought I would make a little sweet treat essentially for a snack today since I have somewhere else to be later for dinner. But for a sweet treat today, I am going to be making Babish's version of the apple strudel from Inglorious Basterds. I remember watching that film and just being kind of terrified, really, a little bit, like very much intimidated, especially by the scene. Even though there wasn't exactly like action going on, the aura of it felt extremely threatening. I also remember being very attracted to the apple strudel and wanting to eat it, so I have the perfect excuse to do so today. So over here I have some Granny Smith apples, I have a lemon, some eggs, butter that we're gonna melt down, hazelnuts and walnuts here that we're gonna crush and put into the apple strudel, some flour, some raisins. This is not part of the recipe, but I thought I would just jazz it up a tiny little bit by soaking the raisins just for a short while in some brandy. This is what I got for when I was making Victorian recipes. I have this left over just sitting in my cupboard, so I'm like, why not put it to good use? I'm just going to let these raisins sit here for a bit and soak up. Then I set that to a side. Swap it out for our flour. Yay! And I'm gonna go ahead and add my oil. This is going to help make it flaky, I guess. And actually, yeah, these are all like making it flaky components. The egg white is next. In you go. Adding in a pinch of salt and some lemon juice. Mixing it up a little bit here. So just a sprinkle. Add a little bit more flour to balance it out. I think this is good. And this is the part where I just knead it like crazy, I guess. In the book, it specifically says, knead the hell out of the dough, seriously pound it against the table, and take your frustrations out on it. So, noted. Okay, I've been kneading this for a while now, and I don't know about venting out my frustrations, but it is pretty soft and supple, which are the exact adjectives used in the recipe. Put this in here. I will cover it up, and right after that, while I'm waiting for this to rest, I'm gonna start coring the apples and getting the filling ready. There's 2 apples to core. I'm gonna do that super quick. I think generally for apple desserts, I like using Honey Crisp. I like sort of, oh my gosh, I cannot multi, I almost dropped my apple, but this time because the recipe suggests Granny Smith apples specifically, we're gonna go with that. Cut through my apples, so I have both of them cut up here. And now I'm going to add a bunch of good stuff, like some lemon zest, of course. My favorite thing to add to a lot of desserts. Some sugar in. All right, I have my cinnamon. Whoa, that was quite a lot. But actually, he adds a little bit more. I'm gonna add in my lemon juice, making sure that the seeds don't go in there as well. As I say that, all the seeds are coming in, so I gotta pick those back out. And of course, my raisins that have been soaking in the brandy. Give that a gentle toss feel like I've intentionally made this a lot boozier than I thought it would be. These are gently coated. I'm gonna add in a little bit of flour just to help it soak up all that liquid a little bit. All right, it's been like around half an hour or so. The dough reveal is happening now. Ooh, it is definitely even softer than before. I'm now gonna roll it out. This is the part where I'm gonna try to get it as thin as possible, so let's see if it works out. Basically, you wanna roll it out until you can see the tablecloth underneath. I just realized there's a lemon seed in here, so I gotta take that out. Wow, you can totally see the pattern, and I'm just going to trim off the edges. It is looking pretty good so far. I have this beautiful sheet over here. I should not do that, but it is fairly rectangular. And so now I am going to brush on the butter I melted right here. Okay, gonna be, oh no, that's the egg. Oops, this is the butter. Now we're going in with the butter. I am going to make sure I'm really generous here. Sprinkle it all over as I see fit. All right. Here we go. We're gonna put in the apples and I'm going to gently roll it up. The reason we're using this is because the dough is so thin. Oh my gosh, there you go. Very nice, okay. Now I can brush on some more butter and it's basically the same process as I continue on. All right, I have my big Strudel baby here now. It is a gentle creature. Actually going to be brushing on the egg, for real. Looks a little bit like a caterpillar right now. It is completely coated. I'm gonna bring that over to the oven, slip you in. All right, so that's now in the oven. It's gonna be here for around an hour or so. In the middle, I might actually brush it with some butter as instructed by the recipe, but hopefully by the time you see me next, I will have the beautiful strudel ready to be cut up. All right, dessert is done. The cream kind of melted off to the side here, and I was too impatient. I was like, I'm gonna eat this like right now. Look at this like beautiful pocket right here. I think this was really important to me because it is like that in the movie and it is like that in Andrew's video. So I'm very pleased with how this turned out. It smells super, super comforting. It smells like apple pie, which is kind of ironic considering the scene we saw it in, but maybe that's the beauty of it. I'm just gonna take a bite here. Again, channeling what was said in the movie, you have to wait for the cream. So here we go. Oh wow. I can't believe I made this crust. That's how I feel right now. It is kind of that like, you know, flaky pastry. You can kind of feel it fall apart in your mouth. Oh my gosh, the nuts, I'm also getting like a lot of that flavor in here as well. And a bit of those brandy infused raisins, if I do say so myself. The flavor of it tastes like apple pie, which is not surprising to me considering the same elements of like apple, lemon juice, cinnamon. I just really love the texture of it. But as promised, I did say there was gonna be a little surprise coming up after snack today. So I'm gonna go change real quick and I'm going to travel over and I will see you guys there with a very special guest.
I was peeling all this dumb garlic because dumb Jon Favreau wanted to keep it in dumb perfect slices. I'm just kidding, he's my hero. Wish I had some help.
Hello.
Ah!
Oh my god!
Ow, I'm scared too.
Holy crap! I was not ready for that volume!
Hi, Inga.
Hello, I am here to be... my heart is still racing from that greeting. Oh my god. Can you tell me what you're doing here?
Well, I'm peeling garlic because Mr. Favreau in the film keeps the garlic whole to get these nice little medallions all throughout the pasta. It's a nice look, but it's meticulous.
Okay.
I could use some help, you and mine.
Okay, I can. Yes, let me do that. And what the dish we're making is
How do you say it? How do you pronounce it?
Let's not do this. I'm so embarrassed. Olio? Aglio? It's not Aglio.
I'm not going to pretend to be an authority on how to say things Italian. So, but I practiced that phrase a lot when I first made the episode, and it's pasta aglio olio.
Aglio.
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 Why are we doing this?
Because it's Italian. And it's got, what, 7 ingredients, 8 if you count boiling water. No single part of this recipe would be any good to eat on its own. Garlic, raw garlic, parsley, olive oil, lemon, raw pasta. None of these things would be good to eat on their own, but together they make something greater than the sum of their parts, which is what is one of the most magical things about learning how to cook.
Wow, that was so wonderfully put.
The more you know. Knowledge feels good. All right, so we got some freshly rinsed parsley so we don't contract anything or there's no grit in our pasta. And I'm just picking off some leaves. Are you a pasta fan?
I love pasta.
Tell me about your experiences making Babishian foods.
In the morning, I made the bacon, egg, and cheese ciabatta from Birds of Prey.
Good choice.
Yes, with
Yum.
duck eggs.
With duck eggs.
Because that's what you did.
Because that's what she needed, because she's allergic to chicken eggs.
The actor, right, Margot Robbie.
And what did you think of the duck eggs?
They were surprisingly not as duck-like as I expected.
Yeah, I can really not discern the difference. Let's slice up this garlic. That's the one thing we need to do, and I could use your help with that if you wouldn't mind.
Yes.
All right, let's get you a
Sous chef.
Babish knife. So here, I'll give you half of these.
Okay.
And we just need to basically down this direction, so like that. Just as thin as you can get it, pretty much.
As thin as you can get it.
Doesn't have to be like wafer thin, but you know, just thin enough that it's gonna cook nice and quick. What was for lunch?
Lunch was, do you want to take a guess?
Let's see, I've done about 300 some odd episodes at this point, so it could be...
I made a Krabby Patty.
Oh, that makes sense.
Your iconic Krabby Patty. And then, actually, I just found out, and this is thanks to Alvin, who is right here behind the camera.
Hi, Alvin.
Hi,
yes.
Alvin. Krabby Patty, according to the official explanation, has no meat.
I don't appreciate that.
The creator, who I believe is Stephen Hillenburg, either was vegetarian or did not want meat to be in that.
Well, okay, I will respect the man's wishes then. Okay, that's something that sounds like I need to explore then. So I'm gonna lay down some fancy olive oil. Fair amount too, because I'm gonna make the full pound of pasta because there's 3 of us and I'm pretty hungry. And into the cold olive oil, I'm going to drop the garlic, which this feels weird. You know, normally you want to throw things in there and see them sizzle, but we're trying to cook this real slow so as to not make it acrid. I didn't do this in the original recipe, but something I've been thinking about recently is grating some lemon zest in there.
Yes!
To like really
Love
bring
that.
some more subtle lemon flavor, you know? Just going to throw a little bit. Is it true that you shouldn't go down to the pith? It gets a little bitter. You're the lemon zest aficionado.
I try to avoid it, but
Well here, why don't you zest this and I'll chop up the parsley.
I can do that.
Yeah, sounds like this is your thing.
Also, I just want to say the Krabby Patty was really good.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it because I made that a long time ago and I was kind of just trying to figure it out and was hoping that I could come up with something halfway decent. I'm glad that you liked it.
You did both the umami version and the MSG version in the book.
Yeah.
So I kind of picked out, like I did a combination of the both.
That's the move. I mean, MSG makes everything taste
Yes.
better, so like I'm a big advocate for that. What am I doing? The pasta's not even in yet. I'm gonna halt that right there because the pasta's not even in the water. We're not cooking that for 10 minutes. That was dumb. That's gonna be fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is matching the same chaotic energy that's usually in my videos, actually.
Oh, that's the truth of cooking videos, and that's why I like that we show that, because cooking is not like this sweet, clean, easy thing. It's kind of hot and messy, and you chop off a piece of your nail, and you burn some of your hand hair just now. And, you know, I got the linguine in here, then this one's available in like every grocery store in the known nation, and it's just like good, high-quality stuff. It's on the floor. And I'm agitating this immediately because I don't want it to stick together. That's something that took me a long time to figure out. Like as soon as you add the pasta to the water, you gotta move it around, otherwise you end up with clumps of strands, which I kind of like because I love crunchy pasta. Like I'm gonna eat this right now. This is my favorite snack.
Really?
And our garlic is just starting to turn blonde around the edges. That's where I want it to live. In we go.
Wow.
Do you want to do the honors? Do you want to do the rest?
Do you want me to?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Sure.
It's your show. Toss this in here while you're doing that. Just the juice of 1, if not 2 lemons. We'll see how lemony it gets. Easiest pasta in human history, I think. So now I'm gonna really just, finish cooking the pasta and sauce. We want to throw some pasta cooking water in there. So let me grab a measuring cup or something heat-proof, because this helps emulsify into a sauce. You can keep sniffing, it's fine. Sniffing's good.
It smells really good.
Well, thank you. Yeah, a little bit of pasta water there. Nice. And let's also load this up with some freshly ground black pepper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I call it the pepper puker.
Is this too much?
No, we got a lot of pasta here. That seems good.
Okay.
What'd you make for dessert?
I made the apple strudel. Do you remember from Inglorius Basterds?
Oh, I remember. How did that treat you?
Making the strudel was tedious but rewarding.
Very tedious, very rewarding. And I like to really agitate it right at the end here to try and emulsify the sauce as much as I can. I also might cheat and just do a little something that nobody does, but I might just do it because I want to, because it just makes it so much better. It's just a little knob of butter.
Oh.
Just enough. It's just a little, this kind of fat. I can't remember, Kendall explained it to me once, but this kind of fat just helps emulsify the sauce into an even creamier affair that isn't so greasy. So as you may know, because I tell anyone that dares listen to me, I have the carving fork from this very scene in the movie Chef. Would you like to do the honors?
Oh, yes.
There you are.
Here, you do it once and I'll do it.
Yeah, here. We'll. So I just kind of try to dump a bunch in here, and then just kind of.
Oh, the ladle thing totally helps.
Exactly, right? And especially for transport, because first off, you can just kind of localize it here.
Oh.
And go boop, and then voila. And then voila.
Oh, is this too much?
No. I mean,
Is it
did you
too
just ask me if that's too much pasta? That's a better nest, too. That's more stable. It's got a better base. Look at that. Look at that. Looks, phew, my voice just did. That's perfect. Look at that.
Nice.
All right. So I see there's a third bowl here. Who's that for?
It's for Alvin.
Alvin's here. Excuse me. Alvin's here. So there you go. Pasta Aglio Olio.
This was honestly the perfect way to end this episode. Again, a privilege to be here to eat this last meal cooked by you. So thank you.
I'm privileged that you just ate my recipes for 24 hours. I'm just glad that you're okay, that you're not like sick or something. So that's great. That's, whew. So let's eat.
Let's eat.
Right.
Third bowl here for Alvin.
Alvin.
All right, come on in. Come on in. All right.
All right. Wait if you want.
Yay.
Yeah.
Should we all cheers?
Cheers.
Pasta cheers.
Cheers. All right. Bye, everybody.